Salute, salute, grace and peace, my brothers and sisters, kings and queens, scholars and innovators, all of God's children. I pray your day is well and you are taking full advantage of the grace and opportunities that God has given you. Um, so, the announcement is out. I don't know if you've seen or heard. For those that don't know, I am part of a music group of artists called NFTRY. We've been doing work for a couple years now, and that season for NFTRY has come to an end. But the brotherhood still continues. All right. So though the banner and by which we do as a collective, that work that we do is over, we are still brothers, and we still gonna be working together. We still love each other. There is no animosity. There's no beef, no strife. We may have some different views that make it difficult to move forward. But the different views are what I would consider non-essentials, not core tenets of the faith. We do not have different views on the way to salvation, which we believe is through the Messiah, through Jesus Christ, the Son of God, the Son of Man, Yeshua, the Hebrew name. So we stand by that. We still stand on that. I understand some of the controversy behind the statements that my brother Ishan has made in the last week or so, but he is still a brother in the faith. Still love him to death, and I just wanted to stress that and make that very clear. And I think what's very important in this conversation, social media or your phone calls or whatever's going on, unity is very important. Grace in these conversations and how we approach them, humility, the fruits of the Spirit. I don't know, sometimes when these things happen, when there may not be clarity or a misunderstanding, we forget how important the fruits of the Spirit is, right? And so disputes are natural. It's in Scripture. We saw Peter and Paul had a dispute about the interaction with Gentiles. We saw Paul and Barnabas had a dispute over Mark, and they departed ways, but they were still in the faith. And sometimes we fall subject to tribalism, and we got to understand and get above that, right? Even the disciples, Luke 9:50, they was like, yo, who? There was this guy doing healing and casting out demons that wasn't rolling with them. And they're like, Master, who is this man? What is he doing? He's not one of us. And Jesus said, don't stop him. For whoever is not against you is for you, right? So, but then that even back in the Gospels, right? And so we have to realize that disputes are natural, yet maintain and endeavor and dive in and be diligent about unity. That's very important, extremely important in this. So we gotta watch slander. I'm still defending my brothers. If there's any mischaracterization, you understand that. And let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about that. I feel like there's three groups that I need to. Let's have a conversation, right? So, one, I'm gonna call this group zealots, right? You see what's going on, and you feel that you have to be the defender of faith, and you jump out and you start throwing accusations really quick before you're able to get a full understanding of everything, before you're able to get clarity on the situation. You fully go and attack. Just relax. We cannot take out the fruits of the Spirit, have grace, have patience, kindness, and understanding what's going on, and we have to continue to speak the truth in love. So even if you have a disagreement with something, we can't take on the world's form of trolling and mockery and demonization. We cannot do that. And God requires us to use grace and seasoning with our speech. If somebody's telling you, and even if somebody is walking away from the faith, which is not the case here, there should still be those fruits of the Spirit, right? Because we know we really don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against spiritual principalities and so forth. And you know the scripture. The second group I need to talk to, I would say some Christians, some evangelicals that are unconsciously conditioned by a European white expression of the Christian faith, right? You have a hard time seeing Christianity expressed outside of your American context, right? So much even so, like anything that looks different from what you've seen in American culture, like you've been conditioned to distrust it. You know, one time I was doing a concert and a brother saw these beads on me. He said, "Oh, I wasn't sure if you was a Christian or not because of that." You know, you see a brother in a dashiki or something like that, you start questioning the faith. There's this. It comes from white supremacy, which is an ideology that forces people to see Christianity in a certain way. This is what erected a white Jesus with blonde hair and blue eyes. And you have a hard time seeing Christianity expressed through Afrocentric ways, through Asian-centric ways, through Latin-centric ways, right? Listen, the faith is universal, man. And what has become a program for you and your culture may not be the universal program, right? That's how you express. You know, in the Gospels, they weren't singing Hillsong. They weren't worshiping like we are in 2021. And so I just think we have to become more aware of what we are conditioned by and what was said. And, you know, it happens to all of us. You know, I come from a faith where we used to think that, you know, the only way you honor God and, you know, in church is wearing, not the only way, but one of the ways that you honor God is with a suit and a tie. You know, if not, you come in disrespectful. You know, but when we peel back the layers, you know, I get that part. But we also understand Jesus didn't wear a suit and tie in the Gospels, right? And so we have to find a medium and find why we feel a certain way about certain things. And so not be conditioned by a Eurocentric form of expression, right? We got to be more conscious and step out of our zones. The third people I want to speak to is the hype men, people that love the drama. You know, you got to relax too. It's a problem when you show more energy for the drama and controversy than you show for unity, right? And brothers going in, right? You don't celebrate that, but your page is going off the minute there's drama, the minute there's controversy. That's seeking strife. God is not about that in the body, and we got to be aware of that. And be clear and fight more for unity than for controversy, more for understanding than division. And if anybody knows me, I love the debate. But I only like debating when we can get an understanding and we can get somewhere, right? So we gotta create safe spaces so people don't defect from the faith based on your character, not your argument. You know, your argument not going to keep somebody in the faith. It's the fruits of the Spirit in your walk. So we got to understand that. You're not going to debate and convince somebody to stay in and the tone is wrong. So, you know, zealots have grace. Let's not make God European. And third, let's not be, you know, drama kings and queens. Let's have more energy for unity. One, I want to salute my brothers. I love Ishan. Thank you, brother. You know, this ain't the end, but I just appreciate the opportunity and just being around before infantry and hearing the idea and being able to do what we did. Thank you to Jeremiah for your leadership in the camp. I appreciate you, my brother, and your diligence. Chris, still working, still got beats. We got music coming. I meant to say that earlier, but we got music coming in this year. It doesn't stop. For those that's asking, Neek, appreciate you, brother. Love you, man. Ivy, 3, Church, Tone, Jay Kabasa, Jay Rodan, Rising Sun, my brother Alvin, B Kid. I love you, brothers. I appreciate you, and we know we're gonna keep rocking and doing what we need to do. And I just want to thank all of my supporters that you've been with me, those that have been with me before infantry, and you've been rocking with me since maybe the Waves mixtape, since the Mirrors, since Silence's Betrayal. I appreciate that, and we got new music coming this year. I'm working. I got the studio in the crib, got some beats from some fire producers, and I believe God is saying a lot, in this context. And so we still working. To those supporters that infantry was the way you learned about me and my music, thank you. I appreciate you. Love you, and we're gonna keep journeying. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep journeying together, and hope you still rock with the kid. This message is going a little bit over, but I thought it was important that we talk about these things. It's never comfortable to see something end, and I think just as people, as children of God, we have to learn how to be transparent in our dealings in the open, and we have to learn how to find common ground and middle space. If the essentials are intact, if we all saying that the Son of God, that Jesus Christ is who he is, we have to learn how to work everything else out. We have to learn how to dig into Scripture as a safety valve, so we won't defect and go different places and things like that. So with that said, I'm signing off, but we still continuing to rock. Love y'all. Grace and peace. Much love. Peace.